Jumanji, The Next Level is a 2019 American adventure comedy film directed by Jake Kasdan, who co-wrote the script with Jeff Pinkner and Scott Rosenberg. The film is the fourth installment in the Jumanji film series and the sequel to Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, 2017. Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Gillan, Nick Jonas, Alex Wolff, Morgan Turner, Sardarius Blain and Madison Iseman reprised their roles from the previous film, while Awkwafina, Danny Glover, and Danny DeVito join the cast. The film's plot takes place 2 years after Welcome to the Jungle, in which the same group of teenagers, along with an old friend and two unwitting additions, become trapped in Jumanji once again. There, they all find themselves facing new problems and challenges with both old and new avatars, while having to save the land from a new villain to escape. Principal photography took place between January 21 and May 11, 2019, in locations including Atlanta, New Mexico, Alberta, and Hawaii. Jumanji, The Next Level was released in the United States on December 13, 2019, by Sony Pictures Releasing. The film received generally positive reviews from critics and grossed $801.7 million worldwide against a $125 to $132 million budget, becoming the 10th highest grossing film of 2019. A sequel is set for release on December 11, 2026. Plot. After their adventures in Jumanji, Spencer Gilpin, Anthony Fridge Johnson, Martha Capley, and Bethany Walker plan to meet up over Christmas break to hang out after being apart for their first semester of college. Spencer, feeling despondent that his life is not as glamorous as his friends, decides to go back to Jumanji, wanting to feel like his avatar again, the strong, courageous Dr. Smolder Bravestone. On visiting his house when Spencer fails to show up as planned, his friends are shocked to realize he entered the game. They follow him, knowing he cannot get out by himself. Unfortunately, Spencer's grandfather Eddie and Eddie's estranged friend Milo, who are upstairs, are also sucked into the game. As Bethany is left behind, she turns to Alex Vreek for help. Martha once again becomes the avatar Ruby Roundhouse, but Fridge becomes Bethany's old avatar, Professor Sheldon Oberon, while Eddie and Milo become Dr. Bravestone and Franklin Mouse Finbar. Expecting the same gameplay, the group is surprised by a new plot. Jumanji is suffering from a drought. To end the game, they must recover the magical Falcon Jewel, stolen by warlord Jurgen the Brutal. After escaping a stampede of ostriches, they meet up with Spencer at a bazaar, who also has a new avatar, a skilled female thief called Ming Fleetfoot. The group struggles adjusting to their avatars and have trouble with Milo not being able to relay information quickly, and Eddie's volatile carelessness costing them several lives. They reunite with Alex as his avatar Jefferson Seaplane McDonough, along with Bethany, who has become a black stallion named Cyclone. Eddie learns that Milo is terminally ill and wants to make amends before he dies, which leads them to reconcile. The group finds a river with magical water that allows them to switch avatars. This lets Spencer, Fridge, and Bethany to return in their original avatars Bravestone, Finbar and Oberon again, while Eddie and Milo are given Ming and Cyclone, respectively. When Eddie and Milo are captured by Jurgen's soldiers, the friends split up to rescue their teammates and get the Falcon Jewel. They fight off Jurgen and his men and steal back the gem. Cyclone, who turns into a winged horse, flies up to the sky with Eddie, who shows the jewel to the sky, so the sunlight touches it as instructed, yelling Jumanji's name, and therefore completing the game. Milo, who appreciates his new, flying form, opts to stay in the game. The rest return to the real world, and Spencer reconciles with his friends. In a mid-credits, Spencer's mother brings a repairman into the house, who sees the broken video game console and inadvertently triggers the game. Simultaneously, a herd of ostriches appears outside Nora's restaurant and Spencer and the others are surprised to see creatures from the world of Jumanji loose in the real world. Cast: Awkwafina, Jack Black, and Gillan promoting the film. Danny DeVito joins the Jumanji film series as Spencer's grandfather, Eddie Gilpin. Dwayne Johnson as Dr. Xander Smolder Bravestone, a player character and Eddie's avatar initially, later becoming Spencer's avatar again. He takes the form of a strong, confident archaeologist and explorer who now has the weakness of evading Switchblade. Johnson also portrays Bravestone's father in a flashback, with Zachary Tsagagbe portraying the young Bravestone. Jack Black as Professor Sheldon Shelley Oberon, a player character and Fridge's new avatar. Martha briefly controls the avatar, and he later once again becomes Bethany's. Professor Oberon takes the form of an overweight, male expert in many scientific fields including cartography and geometry who now has the weakness of sun, sand, and heat. Kevin Hart as Franklin Mouse Finbar, a player character, Milo's avatar initially, who later becomes Fridge's avatar once again. Finbar takes the form of a diminutive zoologist and weapons carrier with some talent in animal linguistics as a new ability. Karen Gillan as Ruby Roundhouse, a player character and Martha's avatar, who takes the form of a scantily clad commando who knows martial arts and gains a mastery over nunchucks as a new ability. She is briefly controlled by Fridge. Nick Jonas as Jefferson Seaplane McDonough, a player character, and Alex's avatar once again, who takes the form of an aircraft pilot. Awkwafina as Ming Fleetfoot, a new Jumanji player character and Spencer's new avatar, who later becomes Eddie's avatar. Fleetfoot takes the form of a thief with skills in burglary, pickpocketing, and lockpicking as well as a weakness to pollen. Rory McKen as Jurgen the Brutal, a violent Jumanjian warlord who is responsible for the murders of Bravestone's parents. Danny DeVito as Edward Eddie Gilpin, Spencer's grandfather, who resents Milo for selling the diner they co-owned. Danny Glover as Milo Walker, Eddie's estranged friend, whose falling out resulted from him selling their diner. Alex Wolff as Spencer Gilpin, a new college student struggling to adjust to his new life and Martha's boyfriend. Morgan Turner as Martha Capley, a new college student and Spencer's girlfriend. Sir Darius Blain as Anthony Fridge Johnson, a new college student and friend of Spencer, Martha, and Bethany. Madison Iseman as Bethany Walker, a new college student, one of the 4 friends who experienced the previous Jumanji, now a travel influencer. Rhys Darby as Nigel Billingsley, an NPC who serves as the primary guide for its players. Colin Hanks as Alex Vreek, a previous Jumanji player, now raising a family. Maren Hinkle as Janice Gilpin, Spencer's mother and Eddie's daughter. Vince Pisani as the pharmacy manager. Dorothy Steele as the village elder. Bebe Neuwirth reprises her role as Nora Shepherd, and of the first film's protagonists Peter and Judy Shepherd who attempted to turn the parish house into a bed and breakfast. 5. Also featured as NPCs in Jumanji are Jennifer Patino as Bravestone's mother, Massey Ferlin as crime boss Switchblade who is a weakness to Bravestone, Danya Ramirez as Switchblade's seductive wife, John Ross Bowie as Jurgen's butler Cavendish, and Obia Operetti as an elevator guard. Danny DeVito's daughter Lucy also portrays the NPC of a maiden. Lamern Morris plays the heater repairman that Janice calls. 5. Production. Following the release of Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Sony began developing the sequel. Kasdan returned to direct the sequel, with Rosenberg and Pinkner again writing the script and Johnson, Hart, Black, and Gillan reprising their roles. 6 Black confirmed the new film as being a 4th Jumanji film because of Zathura, a space adventure, 2005, serving as the 2nd film and sharing continuity with the other films of the series, with Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle serving as the 3rd film. 7 According to Kasdan, the film used the working title J19. 5 The film's title was revealed as Jumanji, The Next Level. 8. Awkwafina, Danny DeVito, and Danny Glover joined the film in January 2019. 9-10 Alex Wolff, Sir Darius Blain, Madison Iseman, Morgan Turner, and Nick Jonas were hired to reprise their roles in February. 11-12 In March, Danya Ramirez joined the cast of the film. 13 That same month, Rhys Darby was confirmed to reprise his role in the film. 14. Colin Hanks joined the cast in May to reprise his role. 15. Filming began on January 21, 2019, and took place in the Blackhall Studios near Atlanta, New Mexico, Calgary, Fortress Mountain Resort, Algodones Dunes in California, and Hawaii before wrapping on May 11. 16, 17, 18. Johnson made a reported $23.5 million for his role. 19. Release. The film was released in the United States on December 13, 2019. Citation needed. The film was released on digital by Sony Pictures Home Entertainment on March 3, 2020, and was released on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and DVD on March 17, 2021. 22. In April 2021, Sony signed a deal giving Disney access to their legacy content, including the Jumanji franchise, to stream on Disney Plus and Hulu and appear on Disney's linear television networks. Disney's access to Sony's titles would come following their availability on Netflix. 23-24. Reception. Box office. Jumanji: The Next Level grossed $320.3 million in the United States and Canada, and $479.7 million in other countries, for a worldwide total of $800.1 million, against a production budget of about $125 to $132 million. 3. It was the 10th highest grossing film of 2019. 25. Deadline Hollywood calculated that the net profit of the film was $236 million. 26. In the United States and Canada, the film was released alongside Black Christmas and Richard Jewell, and was projected to gross $45 to $55 million from 4,227 theaters in its opening weekend. 27. The film made $19.7 million on its first day, including $4.7 million from Thursday night previews. It went on to debut to $59.3 million, topping the box office. 4/28/29. It made $26.5 million in its second weekend, finishing second behind Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. 30. The following weekend the film made $35.3 million, a total of $59.2 million over the 5-day Christmas period, then $26.5 million the next, remaining in second behind The Rise of Skywalker both times. 31-32. After the COVID-19 pandemic closed most theaters across the US and Canada in March, the film continued to play at drive-ins during the following weeks. It made $217,800 in its 24th weekend and $186,800 in its 25th weekend. 33. The film passed the $800 million mark worldwide on July 7, 2020, thanks to drive-in grosses in the US and theaters reopening in other countries. 34. Critical response. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 72% based on 248 reviews, with an average rating of 6.1/10. The website's critics' consensus reads, "Like many classic games, Jumanji: The Next Level retains core components of what came before while adding enough fresh bits to keep things playable." 35. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 58 out of 100 based on 37 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 36 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A+ to F scale, while those at Post-Track gave it an average 3.5 out of 5 stars, with 58% saying they would definitely recommend it. 4. Peter DeBrugge of Variety wrote, "More often than not, effects-driven blockbusters get dumber as the series goes along, but Jumanji: The Next Level invents some fun ideas to keep things fresh." DeBrugge calls Johnson's Danny DeVito impression unintentionally hilarious, and is mildly critical of some of the off-color jokes, but concludes, "The storytelling may be sloppy in parts, but the cast's collective charisma more than compensates." 37. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone is positive about the remixing of the characters having major comedy benefits, and Travers welcomes the introduction of Awkwafina. He found the plot difficult to follow and not worth the effort, but says what matters are the laughs and the FX. 38 Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian wrote, "What gives Jumanji its likability is that it has the emphases and comedy beats of an animation, but also the performance technique of live action, and the occasional reshuffling of avatars and players lets the actors show off a little bit further. Jumanji's next level is rather satisfying." 39. Accolades. At the 2020 Kids' Choice Awards, Jumanji: The Next Level received nominations for Favorite Movie and Favorite Movie Actor for Johnson and Hart, which Johnson won. 40. The film's visual effects received the Asian Academy Creative Award for Best Visual or Special Effects in TV Series or Feature Film at the second ceremony. 41. And a nomination for Best Visual Effects or Animation at the 10th IACTA Awards. 42. 43. It was nominated at the Golden Trailer Awards for Best Fantasy Adventure and Best Comedy/Drama Trailer Bite for a Feature Film. 44. At the 46th Saturn Awards, it received a nomination for Best Fantasy Film, but lost to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, another film from Columbia Pictures. 45. 46. Sequel. Dwayne Johnson revealed in an interview that the villain Jurgen the Brutal is actually an avatar of an unknown character, and would be explored in a potential sequel. 47. In March 2020, Jake Kasdan confirmed early developments for a follow-up film. 48. 49. Kasdan confirmed plans to maintain the core cast of the previous two films. 50. The following month, the filmmaker stated that the story for the next installment was in development. 5. It later was reported that the follow-up film was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 51. In November 2021, producer Hiram Garcia confirmed that a pitch was developed and is ready to be presented to the studio after Kasdan finished his work on Red 1, 2024. 52. The following month he reiterated plans to develop the next Jumanji, once filming on Red 1 wrapped, stating that this timetable works with the actors' busy production schedules. 53. In March 2023, Kevin Hart indicated that it would be the final film in the series. 54. In October 2024, Sony scheduled the next film in the series for release on December 11, 2026. Dwayne Douglas Johnson, born May 2, 1972, also known by his ring name The Rock, is an American actor and professional wrestler. He is signed to WWE, where he performs on a part-time basis. Widely regarded as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, 6'7" Johnson was integral to the development and success of the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, now WWE, during the Attitude Era. He wrestled for the WWF full-time for 8 years before pursuing an acting career. His films have grossed over $14.9 billion worldwide, making him one of the world's highest-grossing and highest-paid actors. 9, 10, 11. He is a co-owner of the United Football League. 12, 13, 14. A member of the board of directors of TKO Group Holdings, the parent company of UFC and WWE. 15, 16, 17. And co-founder of 7 Bucks Productions. 18. After accepting an athletic scholarship to play football at the University of Miami, Johnson was a member of the 1991 national championship team but was largely a backup player. 19. Despite aspirations to professional football, he went undrafted in the 1995 NFL Draft, and briefly signed with the Calgary Stampeders before being cut in his first season. 20. In 1996, his father assisted in helping him secure a contract with the WWF. 1. Johnson quickly rose to global prominence, aided by a gimmick he employed as a charismatic trash talker. Johnson left the WWE in 2004, he returned in 2011 as a part-time performer until 2013 and made sporadic appearances from there on until his retirement in 2019-21. In 2023, he returned once again on a part-time basis. A 10-time world champion including the promotion's first of African American descent. 22. He is also a 2-time Intercontinental Champion, a 5-time Tag Team Champion, the 2000 Royal Rumble winner, and WWE's 6th Triple Crown champion. Johnson headlined multiple pay-per-view events, including WWE's flagship event WrestleMania 6 times, 15, 16, 17, 28, 29, and 40, Night 1, which includes the most bought professional wrestling pay-per-view, WrestleMania 28, and Main Event, the most watched episodes of WWE's flagship television series, Raw and SmackDown. 23-24. Johnson's first film role was in The Mummy Returns, 2001. The next year, he played his first leading role in the action fantasy film The Scorpion King. He has since starred in family films The Game Plan, 2007, Race to Witch Mountain, 2009, Tooth Fairy, 2010, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, 2017, Jumanji, The Next Level, 2019, and Jungle Cruise, 2021, and the action films Journey to The Mysterious Island, 2012, G.I. Joe, Retaliation, 2013, Hercules, 2014, Skyscraper, 2018, San Andreas, 2015, and Rampage, 2018. He also starred in the action comedy films Get Smart, 2008, Central Intelligence, 2016, Baywatch, 2017, and Red Notice, 2021. His role as Luke Hobbs in the Fast and Furious films, beginning with Fast 5, 2011, helped the franchise become one of the highest grossing in film. 25. He joined the DC Extended Universe by playing the title role in Black Adam, 2022. 26. He has also voiced Maui in the Disney animated film Moana, 2016, and its sequel Moana 2, 2024, and will reprise the role in the 2026 live-action remake. Johnson produced and starred in the HBO comedy drama series Ballers, 2015 to 2019, 27, and the autobiographical sitcom Young Rock, 2021 to 2023. His autobiography, The Rock Says, was released in 2000 and was a New York Times bestseller. 28-29. In 2016 and 2019, Time named him as one of the world's most influential people. 30-31. Early life and education. As a senior at Freedom High School in Bethlehem Township, Pennsylvania, Johnson was a member of the school's football, track and field, and wrestling teams when, he says, his thought process started to change. That's when I started thinking about goals and what I wanted to accomplish. Johnson was born in Hayward, California 32-33 on May 2, 1972-34, the son of former professional wrestler Rocky Johnson, born Wade Douglas Bowles, 35-36, and Matanyafigai Maliata Adafida Semanu, née Mavia. 37-38. Growing up, he briefly lived in Grey Lynn in Auckland, New Zealand, with his mother's family. 39, where he played rugby. 40, and attended Richmond Road Primary School before returning to the U.S. 39. Dwayne's father, Rocky Johnson. Johnson's father was a black Nova Scotian with a small amount of Irish ancestry. 41, 42, 43, and his mother is Samoan. 44, 45, 46. His father and Tony Atlas were the first black tag team champions in WWE history, in 1983. 47, 48. Johnson's uncle Ricky was also a wrestler. 49. His mother is the adopted daughter of Peter Mavia, who was also a professional wrestler. 50. Johnson's maternal grandmother Leah was one of the first female pro wrestling promoters, taking over Polynesian Pacific Pro Wrestling after her husband's death in 1982 and managing it until 1988. 51, 52. Through his maternal grandfather Mavia, Johnson is a non-blood relative of the Anoa'i wrestling family. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. In 2008, he inducted his father and grandfather into the WWE Hall of Fame. 58. Johnson attended Montclair Elementary School in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then moved to Hamden, Connecticut, where he attended Shepherd Glen Elementary School and then Hamden Middle School. 59-60 he attended President William McKinley High School in Honolulu and then Glencliff High School and McGavock High School, both in Nashville, Tennessee, and then Freedom High School in Bethlehem Township, Pennsylvania, in the Lehigh Valley region of the state, where he graduated in 1990. 61. At Freedom High School, Johnson initially struggled and was drawn into a culture of conflict and petty crime. By age 17, he had been arrested several times for fighting, theft, and check fraud, and was suspended 2 weeks for fighting. 62 An article in the local newspaper labeled him a troubled teenager with a history of run-ins with police. But Freedom High School football coach Jody Quick saw athletic potential in Johnson, and recruited him to join the school's football team, where he played defensive tackle, an experience that proved to be a significant personal transformation for Johnson. My thought process started to change. That's when I started thinking about goals and what I wanted to accomplish, he has since said about his high school football experience. 19 In addition to playing football, Johnson also was a member of Freedom High School's track and field and wrestling teams. 35. By his senior year at Freedom High School, Johnson had played only 2 years of football, but was offered a full athletic scholarship offer from the University of Miami, whose football program was beginning to emerge as one of the nation's top-level NCAA Division I teams. 19. Football career. College career. Dwayne Johnson. Miami Hurricanes, number 94. Position defensive tackle. Major criminology and physiology. Personal information. Height 6 feet 5 in, 1.96 m. Weight 253 pounds 115 kilograms. Career history. College. Miami, FL, 1990 to 1994. High school Freedom High School. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Career highlights and awards. National champion, 1991. As he did in high school, Johnson continued to play defensive tackle at the University of Miami, where he was a member of the Miami Hurricanes 1991 team, which won that year's national championship. 63-35 Despite playing 4 years there, however, Johnson found himself behind elite players on the depth chart, including future NFL star and Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee Warren Sapp, and appeared mostly in backup roles. 64-65 In his time at Miami, Johnson played in 39 games with 1 start. He recorded 4.5 sacks and 77 tackles. 65. In 1995, Johnson graduated with a Bachelor of General Studies and a dual major in criminology and physiology. 3. He was also one of the university's most prolific student speakers in the Miami area community, frequently delivering positive messages about his own struggles and encouraging students to remain in school and avoid the dangers of drug use. 66. Canadian Football League. After graduating, Johnson was signed by the Calgary Stampeders of the Canadian Football League. Calgary moved him from defensive tackle to linebacker. He was assigned to Calgary's practice roster, but was cut 2 months into Calgary's 1995 season. 35-67-68. Professional wrestling career. Early career, 1996. Part of a series on professional wrestling. History. Notable promotions. Notable men. Notable women. Notable tag teams and stables. By region. Styles. Concepts. Culture. Media outlets. Controversies. Lists. Related topics. Beat. After being cut by Calgary, Johnson began his professional wrestling career the next year, in 1996. 35 veteran wrestler Pat Patterson secured several tryout matches for Johnson with the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, in 1996. Wrestling at first under his real name, Johnson defeated the Brooklyn Brawler at a house show on March 10, '69 and lost matches to Chris Candido and Owen Hart. 39 after wrestling at Jerry Lawler's United States Wrestling Association under the name Flex Kavanaugh and winning the USWA Tag Team Championship twice with his partner Bart Sawyer in the summer of 1996, Johnson was signed to a WWF contract. He received additional training from Tom Pritchard, alongside H.M. Albrecht and Mark Henry. 539. World Wrestling Federation / World Wrestling Entertainment. Intercontinental Champion, 1996 to 1997. Johnson made his WWF debut as Rocky Maivia, a combination of his father and grandfather's ring names, although announcers acknowledged his real name. 70 He was initially reluctant to take this ring name but was persuaded by Vince McMahon and Jim Ross. 52-71 He was given the nickname the Blue Chipper, and to play up his lineage, he was hyped as the WWF's first third-generation wrestler. To a clean-cut face character, Maivia was pushed heavily from the start despite his wrestling inexperience. He debuted on Monday Night Raw as a member of Mark Marrow's entourage on November 4, 1996. 72 His first match came at Survivor Series on November 17, in an 8-man elimination tag match. He was the sole survivor and eliminated the final two members of the opposing team, Crush and Goldust. 73 On February 13, 1997, he won the Intercontinental Championship from Hunter Hearst Helmsley on a Thursday edition of Monday Night Raw. 74-75-76 Maivia then successfully defended the title against Helmsley at In Your House 13, Final 4 on February 16. Johnson's first WrestleMania match came at WrestleMania 13 on March 23, where he was victorious in his Intercontinental Championship defense against the Sultan. WWF fans started to reject his character and push from the company. 77 He defeated Bret Hart by disqualification in a title defense on the March 31 episode of Raw is War. 78 Behind the scenes, Hart mentored Johnson for his first year in WWF 79 and refused to be booked to take the title from him. 80 On April 20, at In Your House 14, Revenge of the Taker, he lost to Savio Vega by countout but retained the title. Audiences became increasingly hostile toward Maivia, with chants of Die, Rocky, Die and Rocky Sucks being heard during his matches. 152. After losing the Intercontinental Championship to Owen Hart on the April 28 episode of Raw is War 81 Maivia suffered a legitimate knee injury in a match against Mankind in June and spent several months recovering. 1. Nation of Domination, 1997 to 1998. See also, Nation of Domination. Upon returning in August, Maivia turned heel by lashing out at fans who had been booing him and joining Farouk, D'Lo Brown, and Kama in the stable called the Nation of Domination. 82 He then refused to acknowledge the Rocky Maivia name, instead referring to himself in the third person as The Rock, though he would still be billed as The Rock Rocky Maivia until 1998. The Rock would then regularly insult the audience, WWF performers, and interviewers in his promos. 82. At D-Generation X, In Your House on December 7, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated The Rock in under 6 minutes to retain the Intercontinental Championship. 83 The next night on Raw is War, Austin was ordered by Mr. McMahon to defend the title in a rematch, but forfeited it to The Rock instead, handing him the title belt before hitting him with the Stone Cold Stunner. 84-85 The Rock feuded with Austin and Ken Shamrock through the end of 1997 and beginning of 1998. 86-87 On January 19, 1998, at the Royal Rumble, The Rock defeated Shamrock by disqualification to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Later that night, he entered the Royal Rumble match and lasted until the final two before he was eliminated by Stone Cold Steve Austin. On March 29, at WrestleMania 14, he defeated Shamrock by disqualification once again to retain the title. The next night, on Raw is War, The Rock debuted a new Intercontinental Championship design and would later overthrow Farouk as leader of the Nation of Domination to spark a feud between the two. He then successfully defended the Intercontinental Championship against Farouk at Over the Edge, in Your House on May 31st. The stable would then refer to themselves as simply The Nation. 88. The Rock and The Nation then feuded with Triple H and D-Generation X, DX, with the two stable leaders first meeting in the quarter-final of the 1998 King of the Ring tournament, which The Rock won. At King of the Ring on June 28, The Rock defeated Dan Severn in the semi-final match and lost to rival Ken Shamrock in the final. The Rock then resumed his feud with Triple H, as the two had a 2 out of 3 falls match at Fully Loaded, in Your House on July 26 for the Intercontinental Championship, which The Rock retained in controversial fashion. 89. This led to a ladder match at SummerSlam on August 30, where The Rock lost the title to Triple H. 90. In the latter half of 1998, The Rock saw a big uptick in fan support. He also started consolidating his famous persona during this time, which would last until 2000. 91. His popularity caused him to be booked in a feud with fellow Nation members Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown, turning babyface in the process. Henry defeated The Rock at Judgment Day, in Your House on October 18 after interference from Brown, effectively breaking up the stable. 92-93. WWF Champion and Rise to Superstardom, 1998-2000. See also, The Corporation and Rock and Sock Connection. As part of The Corporation, The Rock feuded with Stone Cold Steve Austin and stole Austin's personalized WWF Championship and his Smoking Skull belt. The Rock was then entered into the Deadly Game tournament for the vacant WWF Championship. The finals occurred at Survivor Series on November 15, where The Rock defeated Vince McMahon's associate, Mankind, to win his first WWF Championship. 94-95. A double turn then occurred as The Rock turned heel again after allying with Vince and Shane McMahon as the crown jewel of their stable, The Corporation, after the McMahons betrayed Mankind. 94-96. On December 13, at the pay-per-view named after him, Rock Bottom, in Your House, The Rock had a rematch with Mankind for the WWF Championship. Mankind appeared to win the match when The Rock passed out to the mandible claw submission move, but Vince McMahon ruled that since The Rock did not tap out, he retained his title. 96-97. In the main event of the January 4, 1999, episode of Raw is War, Mankind defeated The Rock for the championship after interference from Stone Cold Steve Austin. 98. Then at the Royal Rumble on January 24, The Rock regained the title in an I Quit match, a type of submission match that only ends if one of the combatants says I quit on a microphone. Intended to show a vicious streak in The Rock's character, The Rock hit Mankind in the head with a steel chair 11 times instead of the scripted 5 shots, already being risky. Most wrestling matches in the Attitude Era involving steel chairs had at most 2 or 3 shots to the head. After the 5th shot, Mankind was still ringside instead of 2/3 up the entrance ramp where he was supposed to be, and after the 11th shot, which knocked Mankind out, a recording of Mankind saying I quit from an earlier interview was played over the public address system. 99-100. On January 31, during an episode of Sunday Night Heat, The Rock and Mankind participated in an empty arena match, a match that took place in an arena with 22,000 empty seats where any part of the facility could be used to contest the match. After 20 minutes of chaotic brawling in the ring, the stands, a kitchen, the catering area, an office, the arena corridors and finally a basement loading area, Mankind pinned The Rock using a forklift truck to win the WWF Championship. 101. The two faced off again, at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, in Your House on February 14, in a last man standing match which ended in a draw, meaning Mankind retained the title. Their feud ended on the February 15 Raw is War, when The Rock won his 3rd WWF Championship in a ladder match after a debuting Big Show interfered on his behalf. 102-103. The Rock then lost the WWF Championship to Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 15 on March 28. 104. The Rock's popularity was fueled by his charisma and speaking abilities, which led to many catchphrases and merchandising opportunities. The Rock's popularity continued to grow and audiences still cheered for him even though he was a heel. He then lost the title rematch against Stone Cold Steve Austin at Backlash, in Your House on April 25. 105 The next night on Raw is War, The Rock was fired from the corporation after he was betrayed by Shane McMahon, turning him face again and starting a feud with Triple H, The Undertaker, and the corporate ministry. On April 29, 1999, WWF aired the pilot episode of SmackDown, a term derived from one of The Rock's catchphrases. In the episode, The Rock continued his feud with the corporate ministry. This led to a match with Triple H, at Over the Edge on May 23, which The Rock won 106, and a match for the WWF Championship against The Undertaker, at King of the Ring on June 27, which The Rock lost. 107 The Rock then lost a number 1 contenders match to Triple H, at Fully Loaded on July 25, after interference from Mr. Ass Billy Gunn. 108 The Rock then defeated Gunn in a Kiss My Ass match at SummerSlam on August 22. The Rock was also given the privilege of having his own signature match, like The Undertaker with the Buried Alive match, Kane with the Inferno match, and Mankind with the Boiler Room Brawl. The Brahma Bull Rope match, a variant of a strap match, was a normal singles match where the components are tied together with a rope used for cattle farming, and the rope and its attached cowbell could both be used as weapons. The Rock contested this match twice, both times in Texas, vs Triple H in Dallas, and vs Al Snow in Houston. 109. Shortly after SummerSlam, The Rock began teaming with former opponent Mankind, and the two became known as the Rock and Sock Connection. 110 They became WWF Tag Team Champions for the first time after defeating The Undertaker and Big Show for the titles on the August 30 episode of Raw is War. 111 112 The two performed a number of critically acclaimed comedic skits together, including one called This Is Your Life, which saw Mankind bring parody versions of people from The Rock's past on television, such as his high school girlfriend and his high school football coach, only to have The Rock insult them. The segment earned an 8.4 Nielsen rating, one of the highest ratings ever for a Raw segment. 113 The two lost the titles back to Undertaker and Big Show on the September 9 episode of SmackDown, and won them back from them on the September 20 episode of Raw is War. 114 115 The Rock and Mankind then lost the titles to the New Age Outlaws on the very next episode of SmackDown. 116 The Rock and Mankind would win the tag titles for the third and final time after beating the New Age Outlaws on the October 14 episode of SmackDown, before losing the titles to the Holly Cousins on the October 18 episode of Raw is War. 117 118 At the Royal Rumble on January 23, 2000, The Rock entered the Royal Rumble match and was one of the final two remaining, along with Big Show. In an attempt at a false finish, Big Show intended to throw The Rock over the top rope in a running powerslam-like position, before The Rock countered the move on the ring apron, sending Big Show to the floor before re-entering the ring as the winner. 119 But The Rock's feet accidentally hit the floor during the reversal attempt, though those watching the event on television did not see that. This was played up in the storyline as Big Show provided additional video footage showing it and claimed to be the rightful winner. The Rock's number 1 contendership for the WWF Championship was then put on the line against Big Show at No Way Out on February 27, which Big Show won after Shane McMahon interfered. 120 The Rock then defeated Big Show on the March 13 episode of Raw is War, to regain the right to face the WWF Champion, Triple H, at WrestleMania 2000 on April 2, in a fatal 4-way elimination match, also including Big Show and Mick Foley. 121 122 Each wrestler had a McMahon in his corner. Triple H had his wife, Stephanie, Foley had Linda, The Rock had Vince, and Big Show had Shane. 122-123. The Rock lasted until the final two but was eliminated by Triple H after Vince betrayed him by hitting him with a chair. 123-124. Due to his image at the time, a Magic, the Gathering deck archetype was named after him. 125. Record-breaking world champion, 2000 to 2002. The Rock as the WWF champion in 2000. In the following weeks, The Rock continued his feud with Triple H and eventually won his fourth WWF championship, which he won on April 30th, at Backlash, after Stone Cold Steve Austin intervened on his behalf. 126-127. The following night on Raw is War, The Rock successfully defended his title against Shane McMahon in a steel cage match. On May 21st, at Judgment Day, The Rock faced Triple H in an Iron Man match with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. 128. With the score tied at 5 falls each, and with seconds left on the time limit, The Rock was disqualified when The Undertaker attacked Triple H, thus giving Triple H the 6-5 win and the title. 128-129. The Rock won the WWF Championship for a fifth time at King of the Ring on June 25th by scoring the winning pin in a 6-man tag team match, teaming with Kane and The Undertaker against Shane McMahon, Triple H, and Vince McMahon, whom he pinned. 130-131. The Rock successfully defended the championship against Chris Benoit on July 23rd at Fully Loaded. The next month, he successfully defended his title against Kurt Angle and Triple H at SummerSlam on August 27th. The Rock had another successful title defense against Benoit, Kane, and The Undertaker on September 24th at Unforgiven. 132. The Rock then lost the WWF Championship to Kurt Angle at No Mercy on October 22, 2000. 133. The next month, The Rock feuded with Ricochet and defeated him at Survivor Series on November 19. 134. The Rock wrestled a 6-man Hell in a Cell match for the WWF Championship at Armageddon on December 10, which Angle won to retain the title. 135. On the December 18th episode of Raw is War, The Rock won the WWF Tag Team Championship with The Undertaker, defeating Edge and Christian, before losing the titles back to Edge and Christian the next night at a SmackDown taping. 136. The Rock continued to feud with Angle over the WWF Championship, culminating at No Way Out on February 25, 2001, where he pinned Angle to win the WWF Championship for a sixth time. 137-138. The Rock then feuded with the Royal Rumble winner, Stone Cold Steve Austin, whom he lost the title to at WrestleMania X7 on April 1 after Austin allied with Vince McMahon, who interfered on his behalf. 104. On the next night's Raw is War, during a steel cage title rematch, Triple H attacked The Rock, allying with McMahon and Austin and helping Austin retain the championship. 139. Austin and Triple H then formed a tag team called the Power Trip. 140. While The Rock was indefinitely suspended in storyline, Johnson used this time off to act in The Scorpion King. The Rock taunting Rob Van Dam at ringside at WWF Raw, October 2001. The Rock returned in late July when the WWF was feuding with rival promotions World Championship Wrestling, WCW, and Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, during what is known as the Invasion storyline. In reality, WCW was purchased by Vince McMahon and the WWF, and ECW had gone out of business in early 2001. Many former WCW and ECW wrestlers were then brought onto WWF television and formed the Alliance to compete with the WWF in storyline. The Alliance and Vince McMahon then both attempted to persuade The Rock to join their team. The Rock then aligned with McMahon and the WWF. The next month, The Rock defeated Booker T at SummerSlam on August 19 to win the WCW Championship for the first time. 141-142. He later lost the title to Chris Jericho at No Mercy on October 21. 144. The next night on Raw, he teamed with Jericho to win the WWF Tag Team Championship from the Dudley Boys. The two then lost the tag titles to Booker T and Test on the November 1, 2001, episode of SmackDown. 145. The Rock defeated Jericho on the November 5 episode of Raw for his second WCW Championship. 146. As part of the WWF's battle against the Alliance, The Rock wrestled in a winner-takes-all 5-on-5 elimination tag team match at Survivor Series on November 18, where the losing team's company would be dissolved in storyline. He was a member of Team WWF along with Chris Jericho, The Undertaker, Kane, and Big Show. The Alliance's team consisted of Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, and Shane McMahon. In the end, it came down to a one-on-one between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rock seemed to have the upper hand, until his teammate Jericho entered the ring and attacked The Rock. Austin tried to capitalize on this by pinning The Rock, but Kurt Angle revealed his true allegiance by attacking Austin. The Rock then pinned Austin, giving Team WWF the victory and forcing the Alliance to disband. The Rock's WCW Championship was renamed the Unbranded World Championship following the Alliance's loss. 147. At the next pay-per-view, Vengeance on December 9, The Rock lost the World Championship to Jericho, who would then unify the WWF and World titles later that night. 148. The Rock then unsuccessfully challenged Jericho for the now undisputed WWF Championship at Royal Rumble on January 20, 2002. 149. The Rock doing his signature pose before wrestling Hulk Hogan, bottom right, at WrestleMania X8, March 2002. At the next pay-per-view, No Way Out on February 17, The Rock defeated The Undertaker in a singles match. The event also saw the WWF debut of the famed WCW faction New World Order, NWO, which at the time consisted of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. 150. This later led to a match between The Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania X8 on March 17. The match was billed as Icon vs. Icon, with both men representing the top tier of two generations of wrestling. Ultimately, The Rock pinned Hogan at WrestleMania X8 to win the match. 151. Despite The Rock portraying a heroic character and Hogan a villain, a portion of the crowd attending the Skydome was rooting heavily for Hogan. 152. 153. In an interview in 2013, Hogan said he and The Rock changed the style of the match on the fly based on the crowd's response. 154. After the introduction of the first ever brand extension, the WWF held a draft lottery on the March 25, 2002, episode of Raw. The Rock was the number 1 overall pick, going to the SmackDown brand before taking a sabbatical from wrestling. 155. The Rock made a surprise return on a June episode of Raw before going to his assigned brand of SmackDown. There, he was named the number 1 contender for the WWE Undisputed Championship, which he won for a record-setting 7th time at Vengeance on July 21, by defeating Kurt Angle and then champion The Undertaker in a triple threat match. 156. 157. The Rock successfully defended the title at the Global Warning event on August 10 against Triple H and Brock Lesnar after pinning Triple H. 158. On August 25, at SummerSlam, The Rock lost the WWE Undisputed Championship to Lesnar along with the record for the youngest WWE champion, which he had set in 1998. 159. In 2018, writing for ESPN.com, Sean Coyle noted in a retrospective review of the event, that following his victory over Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania X8, The Rock started to see a dip in fan support, and that dip turned into a plunge by the time The Rock had his match with Lesnar at SummerSlam because fans knew he was leaving WWE to pursue an acting career. 160. As evidenced by the negative crowd response during his match with Lesnar. 161. After SummerSlam ended, The Rock was visibly angry at the crowd reaction. When he tried to do a post-show speech for the crowd, the fans booed him. He eventually cut a short promo, declaring that Sing Along with The Rock is over. 162. The Rock then took time off to kickstart his acting career. 163. Hollywood Rock, 2003. The Rock defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin, left, in Austin's final match at WrestleMania 19 in March 2003. The Rock returned on the January 30, 2003, episode of SmackDown, to set up another match with Hulk Hogan at No Way Out on February 23. 164. Because of negative fan reaction during previous matches as a result of his budding acting career, The Rock turned heel. He also started a new persona that has been called Hollywood Rock, with a new look and a shaved head. 165. 166. The Rock defeated Hogan at No Way Out before moving to the Raw brand. 167. There, he had various small feuds, including one with the Hurricane. 168. He also began performing rock concerts, segments in which he played the guitar and mocked WWE performers and fans in song. 169. After failing to win a #1 contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship, The Rock went into another program with Stone Cold Steve Austin. This led to a match at WrestleMania 19 on March 30, which called back to their previous two WrestleMania encounters, both of which Austin had won. 170. The Rock won after delivering 3 consecutive rock bottoms, ending their long-running rivalry in what turned out to be Austin's final match, until WrestleMania 38. 171. The next night, Raw was billed as the Rock Appreciation Night, in honor of his victory over Austin. That night, he was attacked by a debuting Goldberg. 172. At Backlash on April 27, Goldberg defeated The Rock, who then briefly left WWE to film Walking Tall. 173. Final feuds and departure, 2003 to 2004. On the June 2 episode of Raw, The Rock joined the highlight reel and attacked Christian and Chris Jericho with Booker T, turning face once again. 174. He would later return on the December 8 episode of Raw to help Mick Foley against La Resistance. In 2004, The Rock aided Mick Foley in his feud against Evolution 175, leading to a reunion of The Rock and Sock Connection. They lost against Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista in a handicap match at WrestleMania XX on March 14, 2004, when Orton pinned Foley after an RKO. 176. This was Johnson's final wrestling match until November 2011. The Rock appeared in WWE sporadically following WrestleMania XX. He made returns to provide support for Eugene against Jonathan Coachman and made a cameo in his hometown of Miami, where he confronted Randy Orton. On the August 23 episode of Raw, he hosted a pie-eating contest, as part of the WWE Diva Search, and ended the segment by giving Coachman a people's elbow. The Rock's contract with WWE then ended and he started his full-time acting career. 177. Non-wrestling appearances, 2007 to 2009. On March 12, 2007, The Rock appeared on a WWE show after nearly 3 years, via a pre-taped promo shown during Raw. He correctly predicted that Bobby Lashley would defeat Umaga at WrestleMania 23 in Donald Trump's and Vince McMahon's Battle of the Billionaires hair versus hair match. 178. On March 29, 2008, Johnson inducted his father Rocky Johnson and grandfather Peter Maivia into the WWE Hall of Fame. 179. His next appearance was through a pre-taped promo on October 2, 2009, during the Decade of SmackDown. 180. Independent Circuit, 2009. On September 30, 2009, The Rock appeared at a World Extreme Wrestling, WXW, show to support the professional wrestling debut of Sarona Snuka, the daughter of his longtime friend and mentor Jimmy Snuka. 181. Return to WWE. Feud with John Cena, 2011 to 2013. The Rock in the ring as WrestleMania XXVII host, April 2011. On February 14, 2011, The Rock was announced as the host of WrestleMania XXVII on April 3, 2011, appearing live on Raw. During a lengthy promo, he addressed the fans and started a feud with John Cena. 182-183. After numerous appearances via satellite, The Rock appeared live on the Raw before WrestleMania XXVII to confront Cena. After he and Cena exchanged insults, The Miz and Alex Riley appeared and attacked The Rock. He fended off Miz and Riley, only for Cena to blindside him with an attitude adjustment. 184. The Rock and John Cena left on Raw, agreeing to a match at WrestleMania XXVII 1 year in advance. On April 3, at WrestleMania XXVII, The Rock opened the show by cutting a promo. After appearing in numerous backstage segments, The Rock came to ringside to restart the main event between Cena and The Miz as a no disqualification match, after it had ended in a double countout. As revenge for the attitude adjustment Cena had given him on Raw, The Rock hit Cena with the Rock Bottom, allowing The Miz to pin him and retain the WWE Championship. After the match, The Rock attacked The Miz and hit him with the People's Elbow. 185. The next night on Raw, The Rock and Cena agreed to a match at WrestleMania XXVII the next year. They then worked together to fend off an attack by the Core, which at the time consisted of Wade Barrett, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, and Ezekiel Jackson. 186. The Rock appeared live on Raw in his hometown of Miami to celebrate his 39th birthday. 187. On September 16, WWE announced The Rock would wrestle in a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series tag team match, teaming with Cena at Survivor Series in November. 188. But on the October 24 episode of Raw Super Show, Cena instead suggested The Rock be his partner in a standard tag team match against The Miz and R-Truth, a team called Awesome Truth. 189. Which Rock agreed to the next week. 190. On November 14, during the special Raw Gets Rocked, The Rock appeared live, delivering rock bottoms to Mick Foley, who had been hosting a This Is Your Lifestyle segment for Cena, and later both members of Awesome Truth. 191. The Rock and Cena defeated Awesome Truth on November 20 at Survivor Series, when The Rock pinned The Miz. After the match, The Rock gave Cena a rock bottom. 192. The Rock celebrating his victory at WrestleMania XXVII, April 2012. Leading up to WrestleMania, The Rock and Cena had several verbal confrontations on Raw Super Show. 193-194. On the March 12, 2012, episode of Raw Super Show, The Rock hosted his first rock concert segment since 2004, mocking Cena in his songs. 195. On April 1, at WrestleMania XXVII, The Rock defeated Cena in the main event after countering Cena's attempt at a People's Elbow into a rock bottom and pinning Cena. 196. This event broke the record for biggest professional wrestling pay-per-view parade. The following night on Raw Super Show, The Rock praised Cena, calling their match an honor. He then vowed to once again become WWE Champion. 195. On July 23, at Raw 1000, The Rock announced he would wrestle for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. During the show, he encountered then reigning WWE Champion CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and John Cena, all of whom expressed a desire to face him. The Rock later saved Cena from an assault by Big Show, only to be laid out by CM Punk. 197. On the January 7, 2013, episode of Raw, The Rock returned to confront his Royal Rumble opponent CM Punk. 198. On January 11, he made his first SmackDown appearance in 10 years, getting into an altercation with Team Rhodes Scholars, resulting in him delivering a rock bottom to Damian Sandow and a people's elbow to Cody Rhodes. 199 The Rock closed out the 20th anniversary episode of Raw, on January 14th, with one of his Rock concerts, leading to a brawl with CM Punk. 200 The following week on Raw, The Rock was attacked by The Shield. Vince McMahon then asserted that if The Shield attacked The Rock in his title match with CM Punk, Punk would be stripped of the WWE Championship. 201. The Rock revealing the brand new WWE Championship design on WWE Raw, February 2013. On January 27th, at the Royal Rumble, CM Punk would seemingly defeat The Rock after the arena lights went out and someone attacked The Rock. Vince McMahon then came out and was about to strip Punk of the championship. However, at The Rock's request, he instead restarted the match. This culminated in The Rock defeating Punk to win his 8th WWE Championship. 202 Punk received a title rematch with The Rock, at Elimination Chamber on February 17, 2013, with the added stipulation that if The Rock was disqualified or counted out, he would still lose the WWE Championship. The Rock would pin Punk to defeat him and retain the championship. 203 The following night on Raw, The Rock unveiled a new WWE Championship design, with a different center plate and removable customizable side plates which had his Brahma Bull logo. 204 The Rock then resumed his rivalry with John Cena, who won that year's Royal Rumble to set up a rematch of the previous WrestleMania match between the two at WrestleMania 29, only this time with the WWE Championship on the line. 205 206. On April 7th, at WrestleMania 29, The Rock lost the WWE Championship to Cena, ending his reign at 70 days. 207 Despite being advertised for Raw after WrestleMania, where it was stated that The Rock was still entitled a rematch for the WWE Championship. 208 The Rock did not appear because of a real injury sustained during his match with Cena, in which his abdominal and adductor tendons tore from his pelvis. 209 Johnson underwent surgery on April 23 to reattach the torn tendons. 210 Post-surgery, it made his abdomen look far less muscular than the rest of his body, notably his arms. 211. Part-time appearances, 2014 to 2023. The Rock, right, confronts Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania XXX, April 2014. In April 2014, The Rock appeared in the opening segment of WrestleMania XXX along with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan. 212 On the October 6th episode of Raw, The Rock made a surprise appearance to confront Rusev and Lana. This resulted in The Rock clearing Rusev from the ring. On the 15th anniversary of SmackDown on October 10th, The Rock would make an appearance in a backstage segment, where he and Triple H would reminisce on their past feud. 213. The Rock appeared at the 2015 Royal Rumble event on January 25, 2015, during the main event match, where he helped his relative Roman Reigns fend off Big Show and Kane after Reigns eliminated them from the match. Reigns then won the match and The Rock endorsed him in the ring. 214 215 216 The Rock appeared at WrestleMania 31 on March 29, 2015, alongside Ronda Rousey, getting into an in-ring altercation with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Rock and Rousey prevailed after he attacked Triple H and she overpowered McMahon. 217 On June 27, The Rock appeared at a live event in Boston, where he confronted Bo Dallas and gave him a rock bottom. 218. The Wyatt family confronting The Rock at WrestleMania 32, April 2016. On the January 25, 2016, episode of Raw, The Rock was in a segment that saw him converse with The Miz, Big Show, Lana, and Rusev before he and his relatives, the Usos, got into an altercation with then WWE Tag Team Champions, The New Day. 219 The Rock appeared at WrestleMania 32 on April 3, 2016, where he announced that WWE had broken the all-time WrestleMania attendance record before being interrupted by the Wyatt family. The Rock got into a verbal back and forth with Bray Wyatt before having an impromptu match with Wyatt family member Eric Rowan. The Rock won after giving Rowan a rock bottom and pinning him in 6 seconds, which set the record for the fastest win in WrestleMania history. The Rock was then aided by a returning John Cena to fend off Wyatt, Rowan, and Braun Strowman. 220. On the February 20, 2017, episode of Raw, The Rock made an untelevised appearance after the broadcast had gone off the air, where he promoted and filmed a scene for his then upcoming film Fighting with My Family. 221. On August 3, 2019, The Rock officially announced his retirement from professional wrestling. 222. On September 30, 2019, after weeks of speculation, The Rock announced that he would appear on SmackDown's 20th anniversary on October 4, 2019, marking his first appearance on SmackDown since October 2014 and his first televised appearance since April 2016. 223. At the event, he cut a promo with Becky Lynch before they were interrupted by King Corbin. After attacking Corbin, The Rock and Lynch celebrated in the ring. 224. On September 15, 2023, The Rock made a surprise return to SmackDown, in a segment with Pat McAfee and Austin Theory, who Rock took out within the segment. This marked his first televised appearance in WWE since October 4, 2019. 225. The Final Boss, 2024, present. See also, The Bloodline. The Rock and Roman Reigns face-to-face with Cody Rhodes and Seth freakin' Rollins at WrestleMania XL. It was teased that a former WWE champion would be appearing on the Day 1 edition of Raw on January 1, 2024. The unidentified champion was at first revealed to be Jinder Mahal, who insulted the crowd before being interrupted by The Rock in his first live appearance on Raw since 2016. 226. The two brawled and The Rock emerged victorious, after which he asked the crowd if he should sit at the head of the table in a direct reference to undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, his relative whose nickname is the head of the table. 227. 228. The Rock also appeared on the February 2 episode of SmackDown, where he confronted Reigns after Royal Rumble winner Cody Rhodes decided against choosing Reigns as his WrestleMania 40 opponent to allow The Rock to face Reigns. 229. This was met by intense backlash from fans who wanted Rhodes to face Reigns. The WrestleMania XL media event on February 8 thus saw The Rock align himself with Reigns, chastise Rhodes for reversing his decision not to choose Reigns as his WrestleMania opponent, and slap Rhodes for speaking out against the Anoa'i family, of which The Rock and Reigns are both members. 230. 231. As WWE's chief creative officer Triple H was being interviewed backstage over what had just transpired, The Rock and Reigns walked by and told him to fix it or they would, though Triple H would later appear on SmackDown to stand by Rhodes' decision. 231. The Rock with the People's Championship at the 2024 WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. On the February 16 episode of SmackDown, The Rock officially joined Reigns' faction The Bloodline. He also debuted a new persona that incorporated facets of his arrogant Hollywood rock incarnation from 2003, such as insulting the audience, wearing gaudy expensive clothes, and entering the arena to a new entrance theme that began with his heroic character's music before transitioning into his Hollywood rock music. 232. He then appeared on the March 1 episode of SmackDown, where he gave his new character the nickname of the Final Boss and issued a challenge to Rhodes and Seth freakin' Rollins. If they beat him and Reigns in a tag team match at WrestleMania Night 1, Rhodes' championship match against Reigns on Night 2 would be free of interference from the Bloodline, but if Rhodes and Rollins lost, the championship match would be contested under Bloodline rules. Rhodes and Rollins accepted the challenge the following week. On the March 25 episode of Raw, The Rock attacked Rhodes backstage, leaving him beaten and bloody in the parking lot. 233 During the 2024 WWE Hall of Fame, The Rock received a People's Championship from Muhammad Ali's wife Lani, which he would begin carrying over his shoulder whenever he appeared on screen. 234 In the Night 1 main event of WrestleMania XL, The Rock and Reigns defeated Rhodes and Rollins. 235 During the Night 2 main event between Reigns and Rhodes, multiple people interfered on behalf of both men. The Rock appeared and hit John Cena with the rock bottom after the two stared each other down, but The Undertaker then appeared and chokeslammed The Rock. Rhodes went on to defeat Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship. 236 The following night on Raw, The Rock interrupted Rhodes' celebration to congratulate him and reveal that he would be leaving for a while, but would be coming after Rhodes when he returns. This allowed Johnson time off to film the biopic The Smashing Machine. 237 238 During his hiatus, Solo Sikoa became the new leader of the Bloodline, starting the Bloodline Civil War. 239 240 6 months later, in the main event of Bad Blood on October 5, Rhodes and Reigns teamed up to face members of the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, from which Reigns had been ousted, defeating Sikoa and Fatu with the help of a returning Jimmy Uso. Following the match, The Rock returned and stood at the top of the entrance ramp, where he silently counted to 3 and made a throat-slashing gesture to Reigns, Rhodes, and Uso before leaving. 241 The Rock returned on the Raw premiere on Netflix on January 6, 2025, thanking Rhodes for all his work as the face of the company and hugging him. Later that night, The Rock embraced Reigns after the latter defeated Sikoa to reclaim his Ula Fala and Tribal Chief title. 242 The next night at New Year's Evil, The Rock made his first appearance on the NXT brand. 243 244 He sought advice from his daughter, NXT General Manager Ava, and spoke to Ethan Page. In a promo that closed out the television special, he addressed criticism towards his actions the night before on Raw. 245 246 On the February 21st episode of SmackDown, The Rock made an appearance to announce that WrestleMania 42 would take place in New Orleans, Louisiana, where SmackDown was being taped. The Rock also called out Cody Rhodes, where he offered to elevate Rhodes as a star in exchange for Rhodes' loyalty and cryptically stated that he wanted Rhodes' soul. 247 On March 1 at Elimination Chamber, Toronto, Rhodes refused The Rock's offer, who responded by signaling Elimination Chamber match winner John Cena to attack Rhodes, leaving him beaten and bloodied in the assault. 248 Mainstream crossover. The Rock in a 2001 Vanity Fair photo shoot. The Rock appeared on Wyclef Jean's 2000 single It Doesn't Matter and in its music video. 249 250 He also recorded Pie with Slick Rick for WWF The Music, Volume 5. 251 In 1999, Johnson appeared on That 70s Show as his father Rocky Johnson. The next year, he was on Star Trek, Voyager as an alien wrestler who used The Rock's moves. 252 In 2000, he hosted Saturday Night Live, SNL, for the first time. 253 Fellow wrestlers Triple H, Big Show, and Mick Foley also appeared on the show. 254 Johnson has said the success of that episode is the reason he began receiving offers from Hollywood studios. 255 He has since hosted SNL 4 more times. In 1999, The Rock was listed number 1 on Entertainment Weekly's Top 12 Entertainers of the Year. 256 In 2000, Access Hollywood ranked him number 1 in their list of the top 10 celebrities of 2000. 257 That year, Rock was also listed in the Forbes Celebrity 100 and People magazine's 25 Most Intriguing People. 258 259 The Rock was listed on Entertainment Weekly's 101 Most Influential People in both 2000 and 2001. 260 In 2001, he was also listed on E!'s 20 Top Entertainers. 261, 262 in 2002, The Rock was listed on E!'s 25 Toughest Stars. 263 in 2003, he was listed in VH1's 200 Greatest Pop Culture Icons 264 and was number 7 in People magazine's 50 Favorite TV Stars. 265. The Rock made a surprise appearance at the official Xbox unveiling during Bill Gates's keynote speech at the ongoing Consumer Electronics Show in 2001. 266. Johnson's motion picture debut was as the Scorpion King in The Mummy Returns, 2001. 267. The movie broke a 2-year record for the highest-grossing single day in film history by earning $28,594,667. 268 to 253. The movie's financial success led to Johnson's first leading role in the spin-off The Scorpion King, 2002. 2. He received $5.5 million for the role and Guinness World Records named him the record holder for highest paid actor in their first leading role. 269. 270. The Rock has appeared on the covers of many magazines, including Rolling Stone, Entertainment Weekly, and TV Guide. 271. 272. 273. He has also appeared in, and been the cover athlete for, several video games. 274. As of October 2024, his Instagram account is the 6th most followed in the world, with over 395 million followers. 275. Legacy in professional wrestling. Fans watching on as The Rock makes his entrance in 2013. The Rock has been listed as one of the all-time greatest professional wrestlers 2267 as well as one of the top draws in wrestling history. Many have placed The Rock on their Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, including Hulk Hogan 276, Ric Flair 277 and John Cena. 278. In Cablevision's Television Beyond Broadcasting, The Rock was described as, for a long time, the WWE's biggest star and probably held the greatest international appeal. 279. R.D. Reynolds stated in his book The Wrestle Crap Book of Lists that The Rock was the biggest star for WWE from 1999 until 2004. 280. The Rock's I Quit match with Mankind at the 1999 Royal Rumble event is infamous for its brutality and one of the most popular I Quit match of all times. 281. 282. 283. 284. The Rock main event, the most bought pay-per-view worldwide in WWE history, WrestleMania XXVIII, 285. The most bought pay-per-view domestically in WWE history, WrestleMania X7, the highest rated Raw in history 286. 287. The highest rated SmackDown in history 288 and was part of the highest rated cable segment in WWE history with Mankind entitled This Is Your Life, in which Mankind would honor The Rock with various gifts and reunions. 289. 290. His return in 2001 had a 7.1 rating, the highest rated segment of the year. The Rock was also part of the highest rated match of the 21st century when his WWF Championship defense against Shane McMahon, on May 1, 2000, got an 8.3 rating, making it the highest rated segment of all time, behind This Is Your Life. In 2011, The Rock's return to an episode of Raw generated an average of 4.7 million viewers in the United States, with 7.4 million tuning in during his promo. 291. Raw 1000 was the highest rated Raw episode of 2012 and his segment with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan was the highest rated segment of the show. 292. In 2013, the night after The Rock won the WWE Championship, at Royal Rumble, Raw got its highest rating of that year. 293. Derived from one of his catchphrases Lay the Smackdown, WWE introduced in 1999 its second flagship program, WWE SmackDown, which became television's second longest running weekly episodic program in history. 294. The term SmackDown was included in Merriam-Webster dictionaries in 2007. 295. 296. He is also known for popularizing the term jabroni, derived from jabber, although it was originally introduced by the Iron Sheik. 297. 298. The Rock holds the record for most Raw shows main event in 1 year, 38 in 2000, 299. Most SmackDown shows main event in 1 year, 36 in 2000, 300, and is tied with Stone Cold Steve Austin, in 2001, for most PPV shows main event in 1 year, 12 in 2000. 301. 302. The Rock is also one of 2 wrestlers, the other being The Undertaker, to main event WrestleMania in 4 different decades, 1990s, 15, 1999, 2000s, WrestleMania 2000, 2000, X7, 2001, 2010s, XXVIII, 2012, 29, 2013, 2020s, XL, 2024. At the 2021 Survivor Series, WWE held a 25-man battle royal to celebrate the 25th anniversary of The Rock's WWE debut. The match was won by Omos. 303. Acting career. See also, Dwayne Johnson filmography. Johnson in April 2009. Johnson entered Hollywood and had early success due to his wrestling popularity and noted work ethic. Over his acting career, he became one of the highest paid and most successful actors in Hollywood. 304. 305. 306. 307. Career beginnings, 1999 to 2010. He began his acting career on television while wrestling. In his first television acting job, in 1999, he portrayed his father Rocky Johnson in an episode of that 70s show called That Wrestling Show. Nearly a year later, he appeared in the Star Trek Voyager episode Tsunkatsu as an alien wrestler who fought against 7 of 9. While Johnson was away from WWE, the company continued to sell The Rock merchandise, and he continued to be featured prominently in the opening montages of their television shows. 39. Johnson made his theatrical debut in The Mummy Returns, 2001, playing the antagonist Matthäus the Scorpion King. He reprised this role in the spin-off film The Scorpion King, 2002, where he starred as the titular character. Johnson was paid $5.5 million for his leading role, putting him in the Guinness World Records for the highest salary for a first-time leading man. 308. The film was a commercial success, and despite mixed reception, Johnson's acting was praised. 309. Film critic Roger Ebert wrote, "I expect him to become a durable action star." 310. In the following years, he worked in action films The Rundown, 2003, and Walking Tall, 2004, but these films failed to gain success. He had a supporting role in the comedy Be Cool, 2005, as a homosexual bodyguard hoping to become an actor. 311, and was the primary antagonist in the horror film Doom, 2005. He also worked in the sports drama Gridiron Gang, 2006, comedy Reno 9/11, Miami, 2007, and thriller Southland Tales, 2006. He had further success by playing an arrogant famous American football player in the sports family comedy The Game Plan, 2007, Agent 23 in spy action comedy Get Smart, 2008, a cab driver in the science fiction film Race to Witch Mountain, 2009, the title character in the fantasy comedy Tooth Fairy, 2010, and a police officer in buddy cop comedy The Other Guys, 2010. Johnson returned to action genre in the unsuccessful Faster, 2010. Johnson made his voice acting debut in the 2006 video game Spy Hunter, Nowhere to Run, originally intended as a tie-in for an unproduced film. 312. He also voiced NASA astronaut Chuck in the 2009 animated sci-fi comedy Planet 51. 313 He presented the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects at the 80th Academy Awards. 314 Commercial success, 2011 to 2020. Johnson's first big box office success came in 2011, portraying Luke Hobbs in Fast 5, 2011. The film became the seventh highest grossing film of 2011. Following this, all of Johnson's projects in the 2010s decade achieved major success and established him as a bankable actor. 316 He next starred in the box office hit Journey to The Mysterious Island in 2012. He became known for reinvigorating film franchises after portraying Marvin F. Hinton / Roadblock in G.I. Joe, Retaliation and reprising his role as Luke Hobbs in Fast and Furious 6, 2013, 318 while also starring in True Story films Pain and Gain, 2013, and Empire State, 2013. That same year, he hosted and produced the TNT reality competition series The Hero 319-320 and won the Favorite Male Butt Kicker Award at the 2013 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. 321 In May 2013, it was announced that he would executive produce and star in Ballers 322, an HBO comedy drama series about NFL players living in Miami. 323 By December of that year, Forbes named him the top grossing actor of 2013, with his films bringing in $1.3 billion worldwide for the year. Forbes credited the success of Fast and Furious 6, which grossed $789 million globally, and his frequent acting work as primary reasons for topping the list. 324. Johnson starred as the title character in Hercules in 2014. 325 and hosted another reality series for TNT that same year, entitled Wake Up Call, which saw him lending a helping hand to everyday people who were facing enormous challenges in their lives alongside guest experts such as Rocco DiSpirito, Jillian Michaels, and Josh Shipp. 326 In 2015, Johnson reprised his role as Luke Hobbs in Furious 7. 327 and starred in the disaster film San Andreas. In 2016, he co-starred with Kevin Hart in the action comedy Central Intelligence and had a lead voice role in the Disney animated film Moana, in which he voiced Maui. He reprised his role as Luke Hobbs in The Fate of the Furious, which was released in 2017. Johnson starred in two other blockbuster movies that year, Baywatch and Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle as Mitchell Mitch Buchanan and Dr. Smolder Bravestone, respectively. 328 329 In 2018, he starred in two solo box office hits Rampage and Skyscraper. Johnson starred on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in July 2022. Johnson's role within the Fast and Furious franchise continued with Fast and Furious Presents, Hobbs and Shaw, starring alongside co-star Jason Statham. David Leitch directed the project from a script co-written by franchise writer Chris Morgan and Drew Pearce. The film began principal photography in September 2018, and was released on July 26, 2019. Johnson reprised his role as Bravestone in Jumanji, The Next Level. With the critical and financial success of Welcome to the Jungle, production of the movie began in early 2019, and it was released on December 13, 2019. 330. Johnson's films grossed $10.6 billion in the 2010s, making him the decade's sixth highest grossing actor and the highest grossing actor outside the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 331. Career fluctuations, 2021 to 2024. In 2021, after a year-long hiatus, Johnson co-starred with Emily Blunt in Disney's Jungle Cruise as Frank Wolff. The film is based on the theme park ride of the same name. 332. How May Call It Sarah directed, with a script by Michael Green from a previous one by J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. 333 334 In addition to his work on the film, Johnson assisted with redesigning the titular ride for all Disney theme parks. 335 Jungle Cruise was released on July 30, 2021. 336, 337, 338 On March 16, 2021, he appeared for the first time as the video game character, The Foundation, in Fortnite Battle Royale. Johnson was initially uncredited in his role, yet hinted at his involvement through a series of Instagram posts. His involvement was finally confirmed during the Chapter 2 end event on December 4, 2021, with the Foundation removing his helmet to reveal that he shared Johnson's voice and likeness. 339 Also in 2021, Johnson starred in Netflix's film Red Notice, written and directed by Ross and Marshall Thurber. It is the third time that the two collaborated, after Central Intelligence and Skyscraper. 340, 341 It co-stars Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds. 342 It is the most watched film on Netflix of all time. 343 Johnson voiced Crypto the Superdog in the animated feature DC League of Super Pets, 2022, which was released theatrically in July and emerged as a success. 344 On November 14, 2019, he had announced a late 2021 release date for the superhero Black Adam film. 345 Production on Black Adam began filming in April 2021 and was released on October 21, 2022. 346 347 He earned $22.5 million to star in the film and received millions more for producing and promoting it on social media. 348 However, the anticipated film received mixed to negative reviews and turned out to be a box office disappointment. Following the failure of Black Adam, Johnson's star power came under scrutiny, and his involvement in creative decisions faced criticism. 349 350 In 2023, Johnson voiced his Moana character Maui in Disney crossover short film Once Upon a Studio. 351 In May 2023, Johnson reprised his role as Luke Hobbs in a cameo appearance during the mid-credits scene of Fast X. By the early 2020s, Johnson faced increasing criticism for consistently portraying similar characters, often described as charismatic, larger-than-life figures who are both physically imposing and possess a dry wit. These roles frequently involve action or adventure elements, and the characters tend to be heroic, if sometimes reluctant, protagonists. 352 353 Johnson has been a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences in the Actors Branch since 2017. 354 In 2024, he presented an award alongside Bad Bunny. 355 In November 2024, Johnson reunited with director Jake Kasdan to star alongside Chris Evans, Lucy Liu, and J.K. Simmons, in the Christmas-themed action comedy Red One. 356 which didn't fare well both critically and financially. 357 However, it became one of the top-streamed movies of 2024 after its release on Amazon Prime. 358 In the same month, he reprised his voice role of Maui from Moana, 2016, in its sequel Moana 2. Despite receiving mixed reception, the film opened strongly and set several box office records. 359 It eventually emerged as the third highest grossing film of 2024. 360 Diversification, 2025, present. He was next seen portraying former MMA fighter Mark Kerr in Benny Safdie's biographical sports drama The Smashing Machine, 2025. 361 Full facial prosthetics and a wig were used to transform Johnson's appearance to resemble Kerr. 362 When asked about taking on a serious, intimate drama after years of big-budget action and comedy films, Johnson expressed excitement about finally exploring personal struggles on screen that he had never before addressed. He described the process as both frightening and liberating. 363 The film premiered at the 82nd Venice International Film Festival on September 1, 2025. It received a standing ovation and a Golden Lion Award nomination. 365 The film garnered positive reviews, with Nicholas Barber of the BBC describing Johnson's portrayal as impressively vulnerable. 366. The performance sparked discussions about a potential Oscar nomination for the actor. 368. In 2026, he will portray Maui again in the live-action adaptation Moana, 2026. 369 In February 2025, Johnson was cast in a crime drama film directed by Martin Scorsese, alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and Emily Blunt. 370 The film will depict the mafia's influence in Hawaii, with Johnson portraying an aspiring mob boss's rise within the criminal underworld. 371 He will re-team with Safdie for the film Lizard Music, based on the Daniel Pinkwater teen novel of the same name. 372. Producer. In 2012, Johnson founded his production company 7 Bucks Productions. 18 Though originally attached as producer and star, Johnson will now serve solely as the former on a film adaptation of the Jansen Directive. John Cena will fill the leading role, with Akiva Goldsman attached as screenwriter. 373 Additionally, he will produce and star in a Netflix-exclusive film titled John Henry and the Statesman, as the titular folklore hero. The film will be directed by Jake Kasdan, from a script by Kasdan and Tom Wheeler. With the first official teaser trailer released in October 2018, the project marks Kasdan's and Johnson's third collaboration, after Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle and Jumanji, The Next Level. 374. In 2019, Johnson produced and appeared as himself in Fighting with My Family, a comedy drama about Saraya Bevis and her family, who are also professional wrestlers. 376 Johnson will co-produce and star in The King, a film about King Kamehameha Konuiakea, founder and first ruler of the Kingdom of Hawaii. The project will be directed by Robert Zemeckis from a script by Randall Wallace. The movie will be comparable to Braveheart in tone, given Wallace's work on both films, and will depict the King's role in resolving the wars among the islands of Hawaii. The King was scheduled to begin production in 2020, but was halted by the COVID-19 pandemic. 377 Johnson is also attached to produce/star in a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China. 379 as well as project under development with Shane Black focusing on a new interpretation of Doc Savage. 380. In 2021, his biographical comedy drama series Young Rock began airing on NBC. 381 A film centered around Taith Adam/Black Adam, a part of the DC Extended Universe, was announced to be in development in January 2017. Originally cast in the role as early as September 2014 as the antagonist, in a film centered around the superhero Billy Batson/Shazam. 383 His villainous role for Shazam was reworked into 2 separate films. 384 Johnson did not appear in Shazam, but he served as a producer and his likeness was used through special effects in flashback scenes. 386. Business career. In March 2020, Johnson launched Tier-Mana Tequila, which sold 600,000 9-liter cases in its first year. 387 and is valued at approximately $3.5 billion. 388. Johnson presenting the 2023 XFL Championship Trophy. In August 2020, Johnson along with several partners and investors including Redbird Capital Partners purchased the XFL for $15 million. Within months, Johnson announced plans for the relaunch of the league in spring 2022. While the launch was delayed a year, the first games of 2023 kicked off on time. 389. After a successful 2023 season, the XFL and United States Football League announced their intent to merge into a single league. On December 31, 2023, it was announced that the new merged league would be called the United Football League, UFL. 390. The league would feature 8 teams and start on March 30, 2024. Johnson, along with Danny Garcia, and Redbird Capital Partners own 50% of the UFL together under XFL Properties LLC. 391. On January 23, 2024, Johnson joined the TKO Group Holdings Board of Directors. In the process, he obtained full ownership over his trademark name The Rock, which was owned by WWE. 15. 392-393. As part of the settlement, Johnson signed a new services and merchandising agreement with WWE. 392, 393, 394. Other work. In 2000, Johnson published his autobiography, The Rock Says, co-written with Joe Layton. It debuted at number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list and remained on the list for several weeks. 28. In 2013, Johnson hosted and produced the TNT reality competition series The Hero. 319, 320. In 2014, he hosted another TNT reality series, Wake Up Call. 326. In 2019, Johnson started hosting the NBC competition series The Titan Games. 395. In March 2016, Johnson partnered with American fitness apparel manufacturer Under Armour to release Project Rock. 396. The first item in his partnership with Under Armour, a gym bag, sold out in a couple of days. 397. 398. His second item, a black t-shirt sporting his signature Brahma Bull, sold out after being worn at WrestleMania 32. 399. Johnson also released an alarm clock app as part of Project Rock that received more than 1 million downloads in its first week of release. 400. Since then, they have released sneakers, headphones, and other apparel. 401. In 2016, Johnson started his YouTube channel. His first video, The YouTube Factory, featured online personality Lily Singh and several other internet stars. 402. In 2019, Johnson announced he would launch a competitive bodybuilding show, Athleticon, with his business partner and ex-wife, Danny Garcia. It is set to rival other long-standing bodybuilding shows such as the Arnold Classic and Joe Weider's Mr. Olympia. 403. The show was set to debut in October 2020 in Atlanta, Georgia, but plans were disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. 403. A fan of the rapper Tech N9ne. 404. Johnson is featured on the song Face Off from the rapper's 2021 album N9ne. 405. Activism and philanthropy. Politics. As part of WWE's nonpartisan SmackDown Your Vote campaign aiming to encourage young people to vote, 406. Johnson had a speaking role at the 2000 Republican National Convention. 407. And attended the 2000 Democratic National Convention less than 2 weeks later. 408. Johnson voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012. 271. But did not vote in 2016. 409. And was an independent voter as of 2017. 410. He endorsed Joe Biden in 2020. 411. But told Fox News in an April 2024 interview that he regretted the decision due to it causing division and refused to endorse anyone in 2024. 412. Johnson has expressed interest in running for president, telling USA Today in February 2021 that he would consider a presidential run in the future if that's what the people wanted. 413. Following an online poll which found that 46% of Americans would consider voting for Johnson in an election, he told Today in April 2021, "I do have that goal to unite our country, and I also feel that if this is what the people want, then I will do that." 414. Charity. Johnson has worked with the Make-A-Wish Foundation on a number of occasions. 415. In 2021, Johnson dedicated his People's Choice Award to an Armenian cancer survivor. 416. 417. In 2006, Johnson founded the Dwayne Johnson Rock Foundation, a charity working with at-risk and terminally ill children. 418. In 2007, he and his then-wife, Danny Garcia, donated $1 million to the University of Miami to support the renovation of its football facilities. The university renamed the Miami Hurricanes locker room in his honor. 419. In 2015, actress Michelle Trachtenberg tagged Johnson in a tweet about an abandoned dog that her local shelter had rescued and named after him, prompting him to donate $1,500 to the GoFundMe for the dog's life-saving surgery. 420. In 2017, he donated $25,000 to Hurricane Harvey relief efforts. 421. In 2018, he donated a gym to a military base in Oahu, Hawaii. 422. After the 2018 Hawaii floods, he worked with the nonprofit organization Malamakaui to help repair flood damage. 423. Johnson made a seven-figure donation to the SAG-AFTRA Foundation during the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike, which Foundation President Courtney B. Vance cited as the largest single donation that the foundation had ever received from one individual at one time. 424. The following month, Johnson and Oprah Winfrey announced the creation of the People's Fund of Maui in response to the 2023 Hawaii wildfires and asked people to donate. 425. They also donated $5 million each to it. 425. The announcement received backlash from fans, who criticized Johnson and Oprah for requesting donations while having net worths of $800 million and $2.5 billion respectively. Johnson apologized in October. 425. Personal life. In 2009, Johnson obtained Canadian citizenship through his father's birth and citizenship there. 426. In 2017, he had the small Brahma bull tattoo on his right arm covered with a larger half-sleeve tattoo of a bull's skull. 427. Johnson is a supporter of the Samoan National Rugby League team, and publicly pledged his support to the team during the 2021 Rugby League World Cup when the team made the finals for the first time. 428. 429. Johnson has experienced multiple episodes of depression, beginning in his college years. He has spoken publicly about the importance of seeking help and being open about mental health struggles, advocating for increased awareness and support. 430. Relationships. Johnson first met Danny Garcia when they were both University of Miami students in the early 1990s. They married on May 3, 1997. She is a businesswoman, International Fitness and Bodybuilding Federation professional bodybuilder, and producer. 431. They have one child, Simone, a daughter, who was born August 14, 2001, in Davie, Florida. 431. 432. In 2003, Johnson got a partial Samoan P tattoo on his left side. 433. In August 2004, in recognition of his service to the Samoan people, and because he is a descendant of Samoan chiefs, Johnson was given the noble title Si'olai, meaning the son of Malieto Alo o Malieto, by Malieto Tanumafili II during his visit there. 434. On June 1, 2007, Johnson and Garcia announced they were separating amicably. 431. The divorce was finalized in May 2008. 435. In 2007, Johnson began dating Lauren Hashian, the daughter of Sib Hashian, the drummer for the band Boston. 436. They met in 2006 while Johnson was filming The Game Plan. 437. On August 18, 2019, Johnson and Hashian married in Hawaii. 438, 439, 440. They have 2 daughters, Jasmine and Tiana. 441, 442, 443, and live in Los Angeles. They also maintain a farm in Virginia. 444, and a home in Southwest Ranches, Florida. 445, 446. Jasmine and Tiana provided voices for Johnson's 2024 film Moana 2. 447. In February 2020, WWE announced that Johnson's daughter Simone had started training at the WWE Performance Center. 448, making her the first 4th-generation WWE wrestler. 449. On May 16, Johnson announced she had signed a contract with WWE. 450, and announced in May 2022 that her ring name would be Ava Raine. She has since been appearing on the NXT brand. Thomas Jacob Jack Black, born August 28, 1969, is an American actor, comedian, and musician. He is known for roles in family and comedy films, in addition to his voice work in animated films. His awards include a Children's and Family Emmy Award, a Grammy Award, and nominations for 3 Golden Globe Awards. In 2018, he was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. After portraying supporting roles in films including Dead Man Walking, 1995, The Cable Guy, 1996, Mars Attacks, 1996, and Enemy of the State, 1998, Black had his breakout role in the romantic comedy film High Fidelity, 2000. This led to larger roles in films like Shallow Hal, 2001, and Orange County, 2002, before he solidified his leading man status with his starring role in School of Rock, 2003. Black has since starred in King Kong, 2005, The Holiday, 2006, Nacho Libre, 2006, Tropic Thunder, 2008, Bernie, 2011, Goosebumps, 2016, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, 2017, its sequel Jumanji, The Next Level, 2019, The House with a Clock in Its Walls, 2018, and a Minecraft movie, 2025. He has also voiced Po in the Kung Fu Panda franchise, 2008, present, and Bowser in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, 2023. Outside of acting, Black is the lead vocalist of the duo Tenacious D, which he formed in 1994 with longtime friend Kyle Gass. They won the Grammy Award for Best Metal Performance for The Last in Line in 2015. Since 2018, Black has run a YouTube channel called Jablinski Games. 2. Early life. Thomas Jacob Black III was born in Santa Monica, California on August 28, 1969. 5. The son of satellite engineers Thomas William Black and Judith Love Cohen. 6. He was raised in Hermosa Beach, California. His mother worked on the Minuteman nuclear missile guidance system, the Apollo Lunar Module Guidance System 7 and the Science Ground Station for the Hubble Space Telescope, and was also a writer. 8, 9, 10. He has 3 older half-siblings through his mother, scientist Neil Siegel, Howard Siegel, and Rachel Siegel. 10. His mother was born Jewish, to a family from Poland and Russia. His father converted to Judaism, and is of German, English, Irish, and Scottish descent. Black was raised Jewish, attending Hebrew school and having a bar mitzvah. 3, 11, 12. Black's parents divorced when he was 10, 13, and his father then stopped practicing Judaism. 14, 15. Black moved to Culver City with his father and frequently visited his mother's home. For high school, Black's parents enrolled him at the Poseidon School, a private secondary school designed for students struggling in the traditional school system. 16. He also